Alright, back with round 3 of this league. Well, if we had a land, but we don't. We're on the draw, but that doesn't change. We have to mulligan this. Ugh, this is... Well, I mean, we have our combo and then 4 lands. This seems like a sloppy keep, but with the scry, I think I'm gonna keep. So, whether or not we keep decay here really depends on, like, what we think we're up against, which we obviously have no idea. If we're up against a fair deck, then the decay is nice. I think I'm going to scribe to the top just because I feel like there's a higher chance that we're up against something where the decay is of use. Oh, and it's Miracles. I think actually Miracles is about as decent a matchup as we can hope for with this mulligan. So what land to play out? Like if we play out the C, that potentially leaves them thinking we might be like Storm combo, and it might leave them to think that they need to rush to get to counterbalance, which might lead them to play not as optimally as they would otherwise do, but yeah, I'm not sure. Not sure if that's a thing. We definitely don't mind them tapping out for the counterbalance here as we have the decay, but yeah, okay, they don't. Oh. Well, the Verdant Catacombs should pretty strongly signify that we're a bug deck. I feel that kind of goes without saying, but that we're also a non-storm bug deck, so like we're likely to have main deck decays. I guess what I'd like to draw here is Force of Will, actually, to be able to power through the food chain, because once that's in play, I don't think they have a main deck answer for it. Unless, like, I've seen Miracles lists run these Misers main deck, like a single main deck wear a tear, because it's really good with counterbalance, flips both as a 1 and a 2, and also because like the Eldrazi has made Chalice a real thing. We don't want them to just work their way towards Jace. Strix would also be an issue. So not Strix, I mean Clique would also be an issue, but I think we're gonna risk them cliquing out our decay and then making counterbalance by casting the Strix. They use a counter spell on it. I don't mind that. And they missed their land drop, man, that's crucial. I still think they're like likely to have Force of Will. They just used a counterspell. Do we actually, maybe we don't really mind hemming them with the food chain if they have the force. Because, like, the Griffin's pretty strong with the Deathrite. Though probably Deathrite won't get to live, but let's see here. If they have second counterspell or Spell Pierce, that would suck. They have something. They're just looking with top. Okay, they plow the Deathrite, sure. Does that mean food chain resolves? Yes, excellent. I think that was worth the sacrifice, so to speak, because it wasn't really a sacrifice, but yeah, you know what I mean. So I'm guessing they would have snapped Force if they had it, which means that barring them finding Force in the fresh top 3 cards, they probably don't have Force. So I'm tempted to just run out the Griffin. And they found their 4th land. This looks like Jace. Sure. Okay. Jace is an issue. They're much more likely to find the Force now. They get to Brainstorm. And we just brick with a land. Play out the land, hope they haven't found Force. And they have. Okay, so that's an issue. Now they just get to go nuts with Jace. What do they exile? Snapcaster. Well, I guess that's one less Snapcaster on the plow that we have to contend with, but still, it's pretty bad. At least we have the decay for this. If we didn't, we would be in rough shape. And just pass the turn. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 lands. Ooh, I guess we kind of have to use this decay on the mentor now. We're actually going to do it right now as they click through combat, just in case that was a mistake and they mean to like top into another top or cast ponder or something. Because if we can, we just want them to not have like any monks. It sucks because we don't have top for decay for we don't have decay for the counterbalance now, but we can draw another decay plus like a bunch of our stuff costs 3 and 4, which is awkward-ish for their counterbalance. But yeah, we're not in good shape. But with that, the mentor had to die because they with brainstorming a return, finding stuff with Jace. Oh, now they're fate sealing us now that their other win condition is gone, and they leave the card on top, which means we're gonna fetch. Now we just draw a brick. Playing out all these lands, I mean the fetch land we're playing that out to be able to mess with Jace, but the other stuff, like it's not impossible that we would get to a point where we were allowed to resolve Fierce Empath, and where like we can quote unquote hard cast Emrakul. They keep leaving stuff on top. There's always the risk that they're messing with us. Wow, lands. There's always a chance they're messing with us with Jace and just getting us to use our fetch land by putting something valuable on top. But I don't want to risk it. But we have likely lost here because they're just getting to filter their draws each turn. They have 5 cards in hand. It's like the chance of them not having like a Snapcaster into counterspell or a second Force of Will is just not very high. So they bottomed that one. And Charlotte's Agent is pretty nice. If we hit Decay, then like off the Cascade, then that's pretty neat. We can decay that counterbalance. Okay, well they're looking with top now. I think they should wait probably until the Cascade resolves because they can't stop the Cascade anyways. Okay, so they let counterbalance trigger on. Oh, actually, sorry, that's my mistake, right? They have to resolve it in that order because that's how the triggers are stacked. So they didn't find a 3. So let's see what we cascade into. Manipulate Fate is awesome. I strongly doubt that that's going to be allowed to resolve. But in either case, we have a Charlotte's Agent that they have to deal with. And bouncing that with Jace is not excellent for obvious reasons. So like at least this is going to be like a plow for, or I guess they could draw with top now and counter it. Oh, okay, they aren't going to do that. They're just going to leave the counter spell on top. Yep, it gets plowed. Okay. Now they have a counter spell in the end, so we have to deal with that. So yeah, we're not going to get out of this. You know what, actually, what I'm going to do here, I'm just going to draw cards now. Because you know the funny thing about like Jace ultimating is that they are going to exile 3 Griffins, and if we can get to like bottom, if we could get to like Emrakul, then we can cast Emrakul. It's a pretty big if though. Alright, well, sadly we won't get the 4th Griffin, which is in our graveyard. That's not how Jace works. And like, it won't be enough, right? We'll get 3 draw steps, but one will be with like summoning sick Griffins. They can bounce one with Jace, they can counter the other one, so. But I mean, it's still pretty fun. Guess I should have fetched that Burnt Catacombs. Probably doesn't matter. They have a 4 on top, I guess it's all for naught. They don't. Because they counter it. Yeah, we cast the second one. I guess they probably have an answer for that as well. But that doesn't matter because we can't get to lethal now anyways. Yeah, they have force. So let's just concede here. And see what we have here. We have Nullrod is pretty nice. Clique is good against them. Deluge, that sounds so bad, but they have like the Mentor, so we might need to. Carpet Flowers is actually not a bad card in this matchup. It's like a lot of mana for us. So I guess we don't want all our Strix. And I guess like the Angler is not great. We'll probably only need one. Maybe we can cut one of our combo pieces, like one Empath, because games tend to go long, so it's a good chance we'll find what we need if we get to a point where we want to be able to combo off. So like, I think I might be overestimating how good this deck is versus Miracles. Like, or I might just not be very good at playing the matchup. That's also a possibility. Like, maybe I'm prioritizing wrong. I just feel like I'm not getting the wins I would kind of expect to get. But yeah, we'll see. Let's see. Like, maybe I need more Pithing Needle. Like, I think like what I most commonly lose to is actually Jace. I've also lost like a Quick and Treat the Angels, but I mean, I don't think that necessarily means a lot. Alright, so we're on the play here, and yeah, we keep this. It's not super strong, like I'm not sure how much of a value Force of Will here, but the Death Ride is good. Hopefully it'll get to live. The clique can do some damage in terms of like clicking away Terminus. If they plow, we're gonna force. That might be like super aggressive, but them leading on planes makes me feel like they are weak. And we are just going to immediately Shardless Agent that we were fortunate enough to draw here. We could also just click them on upkeep, but I don't think there is a very high chance. I mean, they would have to basically blind Terminus, which would just be so rude. And I don't think they would do that to us. So not Decay. Strix is good. Strix replaces itself. We draw land, which we need, so we're off to a good start. We're vulnerable to Terminus, but we have the clique as backup for that, in case that happens. So let's just do this. And actually, like, what we could do here is we could take the plowshares. What that means is we leave ourselves vulnerable to them brainstorming and then like a terminus on top. What I think the way we can do it is we can pause them at their draw step. That means they have drawn their card and they would have had to reveal if it was terminus before they can deploy land. So we're going to do that. Because if they deploy land, then they have 3 lands, they can flash back the or like flashing the Snapcaster instead. Okay, we draw a potentially like embarrassing card in this matchup, but we brought it in just to be able to have an answer to Mentor. So here we play out another land. So now we have both Deathrite active and Clique. Alright, so ooh. They just found the terminus. So I guess they might have put the terminus back and are just going to terminus next turn. I'm not sure if this actually means it's still in their hand. I guess that it doesn't, because they would need to reveal that test. But I think I'm gonna take my chances, because if it's not, then it's on top and we'll just get them to draw it with the clique. They might have force. They don't have force. That's nice. We will put back bottom terminus. They have plowshares and a counterspell. So we're not going to fetch, because then they can plow Deathrite in response, and that's 2 less damage we'll get to do. Here Clique was a super payoff card. Well, let's just hope they don't find another. Oh, that's not bad. So let's see here. So they plow the Clique. Interesting. That means they might have found another plow. If they haven't, then I think that's pretty good news. We're really stoked that we get to keep our Deathrite. I think I'm just going to take this plow right now when there's no chance of a Snapcaster snapping it back. So they might have found terminus here. No. Well, they concede. Awesome. 1-1. Do we want to change anything being on the draw? I always debate with myself whether or not it's worth it bringing in Flusterstorm against them. I suppose it could be. So what do we remove? I mean, not specifically on the draw, just in general. Although, like, a lot of the time, the games will go super late and they will have, like, a lot of mana. And what are we fighting them over? We're not fighting over Jace, which is, like, the most important card. We could fight them over stuff like Terminus, and that could be relevant, but it's not always relevant. Like, sometimes Terminus isn't as much of a haymaker against us as it could be. And Entreat, obviously, like, that's really nice. It's probably against them, it's best against Entreat, probably. Do we want one? Maybe just one? It's super embarrassing to cascade into it with Agent. I think I'm just going to not bring it in. I wonder if they still have Mentor. Like maybe that Deluge is just a dead card as well. So can we keep this double Strix, Griffin? They mull to 6. I think so, actually. I think the Strix is not that bad. Two of them signify something of a little bit of a clock, and they'll draw us into other stuff. Second Griffin. I mean, it's not terrible, but it's not super exciting either. Oops. Are they just gonna slam counterbalance? No, okay. Oops. They didn't find a fetch land. That's somewhat pleasing. Playing against Miracles, especially when you're a bug deck, you have to kind of respect the fact that they could be on like Blood Moon. But Double Tundra doesn't really signify that. But nonetheless, it's not the worst idea in the world to get out your basics while you can. Meanwhile, we just draw more lands, which is annoying. Counterbalance, sure. I like Null Rod here. I like Null Rod over the Strix. The second Strix, I mean. There's a chance they have a 2-drop on top, but I think it's worth taking the risk. Null Rod is pretty big game if we can get it because of the Sensei Sab, obviously. Especially now that they have a counterbalance. Well, they didn't have a 2, so they'll have to force if they want it to not resolve. But it did resolve. And they miss on a third land. They missed last turn as well? Oh, I forgot. So they could have Counterspell up here, in which case they will definitely counter the Strix. Oh, sorry, the Griffin. But we have a second Griffin, and I think they're unlikely to have a 4-drop on top. And if they do, then that's a land they don't have, and so we lose a Griffin, but it's not the end of the world. Anyway, I think we're going to try for a Griffin. Because if it resolves, it's like, it's kind of worth it. Uh-oh, Brainstorm. That means it's not Counterspell, but if they have Jace in hand or whatever, then yeah. It has to be Jace, though. There isn't another 4-drop that I can think of unless they bring in weird stuff like Supreme Verdict. Oh, never mind. They do. Well, let's hope they don't find the third land. If they do, then it's pretty nice knowing there's a top they can't use. Okay, so we're gonna swing in here, and we're going to Strix over the agent, like Strix instead of agent. Just because, like, I would rather. I think they could have it having to use their Supreme Verdict if they hit land 4, and I would rather save the agent than, like, if we agent, we might agent into like Deathrite Shaman, which is like not that great for us. Because then they definitely use it. Oh, there's a decay, which is great. We have an answer for their counterbalance. Guess that's a thing. Did they find their land? They don't. Well, let's attack. You know what? I think I'm going to actually be a bit risk willing here and not cast the decay and actually try and save the decay for a mentor, because I think that's how we lose. And so far it pays off. They didn't have a 2 on top. We take a Griffin and a second Griffin. probably a third fate. Probably a fate, not a third. We get a death right, and we just play out a land. And actually, you know what? We're gonna play out this. Oh no, hang on, never mind. Let's not be foolish. We know they have land coming. So they can Supreme Verdict next turn. If they do, we decay their counterbalance in a turn and play out creatures. But okay, they don't. So this might be where we want them to actually verdict us, because a 7-turn clock is not going to be good enough, I don't think. Let's try Griffin through the counterbalance. Mind you, they could have like counterspell or whatever. Oh, okay. Snapcaster. Right, they Snapcaster a Brainstorm to put the verdict back on top. And like decaying the balance in response won't do anything because the trigger is already on the stack. Right, okay. Well, I feel like this might be slipping a little bit out of our hands right now, so maybe we just decay at end of turn anyways. Hope to be able to deal with a mentor if the need should arise. As long as we have Null Rod, the top is locked, so mentor can't like go completely ballistic. And we draw another decay, so. So where does this leave us? They are likely to have like Jace in their hand. So if we play out the last Griffin they know about, then next turn they verdict, then we can. Although I mean they are sitting on what would appear to be like Force of Will. That's tricky, alright. I think actually we're just going to go for the agent now. I'm contradicting myself a bit, but like agent, into Brainstorm, that's actually very nice, because agent like by itself has already replaced itself, sort of. And we're going to put back land and land. We can play the land next turn. We could have put back something to agent into, but I'm not really sure about when I'm going to be able to cast this second agent. So they have red for tear on Null Rod, maybe? Yeah, I think that's okay. I mean, we can't really fight it anyways. I don't think it's worth brainstorming to get one card deeper. So they could have stuff like Terminus here. Guess if they draw with the top, we might just decay it in response, lose a card. But nah, that's not what happens. Crash in with a snap. We're not going to block. We'd rather force them to use their Supreme Verdict. They do. So I guess I don't mind fetching before I brainstorm, so we can brainstorm something on top and an agent into it. Food chain. That's really good. So I guess I want the fate. Right. So we agent through the bayou and to manipulate fate. Oh, actually, no, that was stupid because all of our griffins are exiled, so we'll just get to shuffle stuff and cantrip, but that's not too bad either. Maybe we cantrip into a force. That'd be really good, so we can try and resolve the food chain. So I guess we can ditch a couple of lands here. We get deluge. That's not terribly exciting. Do I just run out the food chain? They could have easily found a force, but then we him them. They have all their terminus still in their deck, but I think yeah, they have a force. Oops. So I think like we can play the death right here because they won't be terminusing, so it'll have to be Source of Plowshares. Which, I mean, it could be, but... Oh, and there's a Mentor. We handily have Deluge and Decay. Okay, so they plow. Deathrite, that's really good. Sure. Play top, sure. Okay. They have one card in hand. So I don't think they have a way of answering Deluge. Unless they have a blue card in hand or a force and they can top into that, but yeah, alright. Drawing this Fierce Empath is excellent, by the way, because we can get our Gurmag Angler, and then we can angler out the two griffins we have in the graveyard into exile. They choose a double block here, which is interesting. Maybe it's just because they're worried about their life total and they think they're going to make a lot of mentor tokens any minute now. So we're going to deluge for... Is there any way they could cast more than one spell here? So they look with top, they draw and force, or they have like a single spell in hand. No, I can't see them casting more than one spell, so we're just going to pay 3 life. I mean, if they force them, it's forced anyways, right? So we're going to cast this guy. This means we only have Emrakul to draw. We can't draw it like that. We have no more empaths, but I think it's worth it. Exile a Griffin. Exile a Griffin. Exile an artifact. Exile some more stuff. So, them finding Terminus is a thing. Them plowing is obviously also a thing. They have only cast 1 plow. They have 3 more in their deck, and they have only used 1 Snapcaster. Yeah, Jace is also a thing. Jace brainstorming, putting Terminus on top. Oh, okay, never mind. That's surprising, actually. They choose to do that. If they snap in here and trade, then I'm perfectly happy with that. So I think we're going to Shardless Agent. And make them draw with the top. It's a bit of a waste, but means there are no Terminus coming this turn. And if there is, then it only gets to bottom Fierce Empath. So, yep. I think we can risk playing out a Griffin. If it gets Terminus, then that sucks, but it won't be until our turn, I guess. Not that that really matters. But if it were to be countered or red blasted, then the Grimag Angler can pull it out of exile. They have to find Terminus now, or they die. And they die. Excellent. They just found nothing, and we have lethal. Well, actually, I guess we don't. They're on 7, so they could have played on, but we had 2 Griffins in exile, the Angler in hand, so... Excellent. So we take this versus Miracles. Let's see if we can play another... Alright, back for round 4 of this daily... sorry, not daily. That's Old World. Legacy League. We have this hand. It's a little bit soft to Wasteland and removal on our Deathrite. We have a Brainstorm though, so I feel okay keeping this. If we're up against Storm, then the Deathrite is really good. If we're up against like Miracles, we have some time. If it's Shardless, then I'm not so happy about this. Basically, I don't think we want to be facing another Deathrite deck. Let's see what we see. Uh-oh. Remember when I said I was happy if it was Storm? Not if it means they kill us turn 1. Oh, no. Don't be like that, man. We have to hope it's like a mini MT for like 8 goblins or something. But if it is, I don't think we have a chance. But more of a chance than if it's like kill you dead. So this has the look and feel and smell of Belcher. It could be Tez. No, it's not. It's Belcher. Tez doesn't run Manamorphose. Only really Belcher runs that. And I guess that Oops All Spells probably runs that too. But I don't think they run red rituals. So this could also be a fizzle. Like when they're Manamorphosing, that might mean they don't have everything they need. But Double Rite of Flaming speaks otherwise. So either they will cast Goblin Charbelcher, and then it's a question of whether or not they have 3 mana, which they will now because they have LED. Or they'll cast Burning Wish. Well, they have 1 card left in hand. This is so annoying. Like with Land Grant, it's bugged. It doesn't reveal. And it used to do that, so it's really weird. It's changed at some point. I just need to remember to report it. Alright, so basically we're not beating this regardless. So like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Like they are making 18 goblins. And so is there like what? So let's say we draw like Food Chain and Griffin. Then we're still dead because we didn't have a fetch land. Yeah, whatever. Let's you could say that let's not show them what we're playing, but like on the other hand, I don't think Belcher really cares all that much. So we draw land. And what does that mean? So we play out Deathrite, take 17, drop our second land, which isn't a fetch land. Yeah, no, never mind. We're dead. Well, we have some tools to fight this, although it is super duper fast. Null Rod is okay because it stops the Charbelcher and also stops like petals and LEDs. Trouble will be getting to turn 2. I think if we get to resolve Null Rod, we've probably already won. Definitely want the 2 Fluster Storms. We want the Golgari Charms obviously to kill the Goblin tokens. Deluge for that as well. We want Triple Thoughtseize. We don't want Leyline. We could take Cleek over another creature, but we won't get to a point probably where Clique matters. It's not like regular Storm where they will be vulnerable usually to Clique, I don't think. So anyways, let's say we board out some number of decays. They could bring in like Xantid Swarm in the dark. We board out some Strix. Probably we can trim the combo a little bit. Although we might just want to be able to finish them as quickly as possible. Bring out an Angler. Is this really the most we can muster post board? I'm not that impressed, to be honest. Yeah, alright, so we'll shave a food chain, shave a griffin. How many blue cards? 6, 8, 9, 12, 15, 19, 20. Yeah, that's okay. We can shave the Sylvan. That's going to be much too slow. Alright, so let's be on the play, please. This is a pretty decent hand. Can't really ask for a whole lot more. We have both Force and Thoughtseize on the play, so. Only thing lacking here is like a way to get started on their life total. They keep their 7 too, which is a little bit disconcerting, but yeah, what you gonna do? So let's start off with a Thoughtseize. So they have Double Wish. They have a Belcher. Oops. They have LED. They have Land Grant. They have Right and Simian Spirit Guide. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So what do we take here? They actually only have the Simian Spirit Guide to get the mana going. So they can Spirit Guide, get 1 red, use it to cast Rite of Flame. That's 2 red. And then they're stuck. But then no, they can Land Grant for Tega, and then go like Burning Wish, sack the LED, cast empty. If they do that, then we're pretty happy, right? Because then we force that, and then they have just the Tega and nothing else. And I don't think they can rebuild from that. So like we either take the Goblin Charbelcher, because if they ever get that into play, then that is super awkward for us. And if we take one of their mana pieces, I think it has to be LED, even though like the Spirit Guide is how they get started. But they can get started with Land Grant, and they just need to find another way to make 1 mana, which is pretty easy for them. I think we actually take the Charbelcher, hope they go for the Burning Wish play next turn, sacking LED. Might be a bit of a high risk play here, but let's see. I really just I don't want them to probe me because I don't want them to know we have Force. Sorry if I'm stating the obvious here. So the Land Grant, which currently is just a super busted spell because it doesn't require them to reveal what they just drew. Just really annoying. Okay, so they drew an Elvish Spirit Guide. And they cast their LED. So their hand right now is Double Wish, Rite of Flame, Simian Spirit Guide. Alright, sure. LED has resolved. So now they're committed, I think, to the plan we wanted them to commit to. Unless I have made an error in judgment. Oh. So what's this? They wish So now their hand is Burning Wish, Rite of Flame, Simian Spirit Guide. So I guess they're wishing for something that stops our Force of Will, which is super annoying. Like if we force this, the next turn they go. Well, next turn then they make like a silly small amount of goblins, right? They can just go cast one spell, which is Rite of Flame, then the Wish, then get the goblins. Because the Simian Spirit Guide doesn't add mana, so what the heck are they getting with this Burning Wish? I feel like I am going to be such a mope when I let this resolve and then see something that just mucks up my one Force of Will. Still, that's what I'm going to do. Let's see. Let's see what they reveal. Maybe they have like the Rite of Flame in the sideboard? No, that wouldn't make sense. Like, as much as I think I like to belittle Belcher, and I think a lot of my legacy brethren like to belittle Belcher, I actually think it's quite difficult to play optimally against. Part of that, I think, obviously, is just because I'm not used to playing against it, and I have never really played it myself. But I think that is also like an honest virtue of the deck, like an honest sort of boon of playing Belcher. Alright, fella, what you up to? Past in Flames. Alright, I can dig it. So they can go Past in Flames. I force, or Burning Wish, I force that they then have Burning Wish with their Past in Flames in the yard. Don't think that's super strong currently. I think they need to draw some more gas. They have one ritual currently. Alright, we drew land. That is very nice. I think we're just going to brainstorm here. I guess actually we could have decayed the LED. Actually, no, I think we should have done that. Well, next turn if there is such a one. Dump the Fate. Dump the Agent, I guess. If they just pass the turn, we're just going to untap, draw the Agent, and then decay the LED. I guess we should have put back the decay. Actually, yeah, that would probably have been a better move. So I think that is a fairly high chance that that's what they're going to do. Just pass turn, yeah. But anyways, decaying this LED should be fairly high payoff. They're probably frowning, thinking we're noobs, keeping in decay, but it is because I know some Belcher lists run Saints Swarm. Okay, so next turn we are going to just pass and then click them on their turn. I think maybe my click just seems so weak against them. And they are rebuilding to 6 cards, 7 cards soon, so I mean, we're just stuck with our 1 force. Oh, never mind, now it's 2. I think I'm going to wait with clicking until either if they cast something on their turn and then make a judgment call on at one point it's better we get the most value out of our click, or just at their end of turn. So we've drawn pretty well here. I mean, drawing into that second force and having the blue cards to pitch is definitely like drawing on the right side of variance for us. Okay, they're casting something here. Probe. Well, I guess there's no point in clicking them before the probe resolves and they get to draw a card. So likely they aren't going to be very happy seeing this, but I'm sure if Belcher wasn't able to at least sometimes win through force of will, then it would not be a thing. Casting spells on their turn is risky too because it adds to the storm count, like unless it's in their end of turn. So like I'm thinking now, if they hadn't probed, then I would be very likely to want to click in like response to a ritual or something, but they might. I mean, I might still do that, but they might just bank on me doing that. So they have a Simian Spirit Guide, a Burning Wish, then 4 cards we don't know. So I think we're going to let this resolve. And here is where we click. We might just be forcing this Manamorphose. We don't want them to get to 3 mana, because they can, or actually even 2 mana. Like the Rite of Flame was risky because if they have double Spirit Guide, they can just cast empty. I mean, probably not off the one right, because then that would just be too little storm we can force and stuff. But let's see here. Okay. They have a Seething Song. I might just not bottom anything. Although, like, a Past in Flames could get really juicy if they ever get to resolve it. So what's the worst case scenario? They draw off their Metamorphose. They draw off another Spirit Guide? Or like, does that matter? They draw LED? Let's say they just draw like a single mana spell. Then they either cast it or not. They try to resolve Seething Song. I think I'm just going to let them keep this. I'm going to actually let Metamorphose resolve. So they can Spirit Guide out the Seething Song. We force that, then they don't have a play. Okay, they drew another probe. Yeah, sure. That just cycles. Doesn't change anything, just cost them 2 life, added 1 to the storm count. Like, what beats our force of wills here is not Belcher, but is Empty the Warrens. So we have to be very careful that they don't get to, like, if they ever get to 2 mana and 2 unknown cards in hand, that those 2 unknown cards could be another Spirit Guide and an Empty the Warrens. Alright, here we go. They exile the Spirit Guide. This gets forced, for sure. I have 2x Wish, Past Flames, and a card I don't know. If we draw land, we just play out the Griffin. If we draw another blue card, we might just agent, depending on what the blue card is. We just want to kill them as fast as possible here. They are pausing. Yeah, never mind. No. Null Rod is nice. It limits their possibilities for sure. So let's just play that out. Does not stop them dead in their tracks. And they have to pass. Emrakul is a bit of a dud. So 4-turn clock. Bit much. Bit much for my liking. Did we board out both of the anglers? We probably did. Or maybe we left one in. In any case, we might as well just play out the empath here. It's to know sort of there's no opportunity cost, and that in itself costs up a turn, so. Oops. Green. Let's see. Yes, we had the one angler. It won't make a difference on the clock though, but maybe if they somehow squeeze off a couple of goblins, it's not too bad. Well, they're down to. They probe again. It's a 1-turn clock. Okay, Desperate Ritual. They have 5 cards. We know 3 of them. So if the remaining 2 are Spirit Guide, Rite of Flame, they still can't do anything. They can't do anything this turn, but I mean, we are pretty dead to them resolving the Past in Flames with mana floating because they have like so many rituals now. It's like if their last 2 cards we don't know about are Spirit Guide / Ritual, or let's just say Ritual, but Spirit Guide, that because we can't counter that, and then Empty the Warrens. I think I'm going to force this. I mean, they knew our hand, so it might just be a ploy to bait this spell out, but it might also just be them being desperate and hoping that we don't counter it. So Brainstorm is a nice straw, right? Because we might be able to hit like a Thoughtseize or something, or Flusterstorm. Or just be disgusting and hit this. Wowie. Okay, that was mean. We've drawn disgustingly well in this game. So hopefully that will lock it up. Tinderwall. I say no thanks. Opponent is maybe a bit salty. Alright, well, like that was game 2. We drew really well, and I never really felt super confident over that. So, I don't think all in all I enjoy very much playing against Belcher with this deck. I don't think we sideboard anything any differently. I think it's pretty much the way it is. Like, I think when I'm playing Storm, I don't mind playing against Belcher. I mean, they're faster, but a lot of the time they make goblins, and that will usually give us a couple of turns to just finish them with Past in Flames. I don't think we can keep this. Come on, they should be mulliganing. Come on, that's what Belcher does, right? No, they keep 7. Come on, mulligan. Ah, come on. I don't think we can keep because like even though we have Golgari Charm for like their MT, we don't have a fucking fetch land, and they don't play any. Well, actually, we get to scry. Oh dear. Would they keep 7 that won't let them combo turn 1? If that's the case, then Force is just $1 short and a day late, right? But oh man, that's difficult, right? I think they have definitely, like, they don't keep 7-card hands that don't do anything. So at best for us, they have kept a hand that just shows promise, that has like probe and or Manamorphose, and we'll need to draw something specific to actually get there. If that's the case, then we probably get or we might get a second turn. If not, then we don't get a second turn. They combo out on turn 1, in which case we need to draw a land to have a chance. So I think I'm actually going to bottom this Force, man. I can't believe I'm doing this. Come on. They exile Spirit Guide. And man, I can't believe this bug. How annoying is it? You don't get to, they don't reveal anything with the land grant. Okay, let's at least make them think we have something here. I mean, this way to combo off, if they have, if it's Char Belcher, we're just dead. So this has to be Burning Wish. It's not. Oh, it's just MT. Okay. Well, now I feel happy that we didn't keep Force on top. We still need to draw well. We need to draw like a land on this draw step or the next, or we're dead. Beautiful. Okay, that was, feel like being rewarded for that Force Scribe. Well, let's see. They could have Burning Wish for like Goblin War Strike or something. Yeah. So block. Take 11. Attack. Golgari Charm. Do we decay here, or do we start doming them? I think we start doming them, right? We can decay the LED. Or we could even go for the Chromox. I'm not sure which I like most, though. Let's take the empty the warrants. I guess we thought seize them, even though losing 2 life is not awesome. So they have Spirit Guide, right, and a Seething Song. Think we take the Seething Song? Play out a 3rd guy here, and just attack with our 2 other Deathrights. So like, if they draw Burning Wish, they get to make more goblins, or even just like what do you call it? Tendrils. So So I think we need to get rid of that lion's head diamond. We kind of don't want them to have the sanded swarm though, but I think as we don't have any counter spells right now, I think it's okay to just use decay on the LED. And we get kind of punished here. Actually, you know what we're gonna do? We're gonna. Oh no, we should put back both griffins because we're gonna manipulate fate here just to shuffle. Give them one more turn to hopefully not draw like Burning Wish or. Oh, there's actually a lot they can draw. I'm liking this less and less. This scenario. Let's put away some griffins and manipulate fate. We get an angler that'll lob the clock. Come on, don't kill me. Yes, don't kill us yet. Tinderwall makes what? Makes 2 red. Oh, okay, that was really nice. This means Belcher doesn't kill us. It means LED and Chromox can't be used. And we just swing in for 2, and then we can use the last death right to drain them. Right. Wow, Mulrod really working overtime here. Guess we take Desperate Ritual. Guess we decay the Tinderwall. I mean, we could decay the Xander Swarm, but like we're not sitting on any counter spells, and that makes mana, and the Swarm doesn't. Oh, okay, and they concede. Yeah, all right. So we got there just barely. Let's see if we can get another match. Back for the last round of this league. Like Food Chain up against whatever. We're on the draw. I think I like this hand. We have forced to interact with early combo. We don't have like a turn 1 or turn 2 play, which is a bit annoying. But our hand promises a lot. Tarn. Tarn Chromox. Oh my, so another combo deck, so a storm deck, right? Okay. Don't think we ever counter the Chromox. What did they exile? Hang on, is it Charm? So a Reanimator? Okay, I'm confused now. Right. What the heck is this? I think we let them just resolve that because our hand doesn't really care a lot about that. Well, cares a bit more now, but that's okay. Guess that's just a pitch card for force. We can save our agent. Is this like the Splinter Twin thing I've seen? Okay, we actually do care about not getting mooned here. If we could fetch out basic forest, I wouldn't be as concerned, but we can't. So I guess here we get basic swamp instead of basic island because we want to get to basic swamp, basic forest to be able to cast decay on like a blood moon. In case that they have a second one. If they have second blood moon here, we're boned. Most likely. We have to naturally draw our basics. They don't though, so that's good. So I guess I want to jam food chain here because that way we can chain creatures into the mana collars we need. With a bit of luck, we can actually just get to Emrakul even without the griffins, but let's cross that bridge when we get there. Well, it is the twin deck. If they have twin in hand and draw a red source, sure, you can tap my food chain, then we die. If they don't, this is cool. I've never played it as this deck. I've seen it, like I've seen lists and stuff. The twin deck in Legacy where it's like soul lands and chalices. Someone top aided like one of the Star City classics with it, I think. So I guess they get in for one? Sure. What's this? Planeswalker? Transmute artifact? Whoa, that is excellent. Chalice for 3. Sure, okay. Now we have to just get... Now things got way more difficult for us. Well, I guess maybe not. If we agent into a decay, then it's not that difficult. We do. Bye-bye Chalice for 3. You know what I think I'm going to do here? I'm going to play out this land. Then I'm going to exile hang on. We're going to exile the Strix for green, tap this land for blue, cast Shardless Agent, see if we hit Manipulate Fate. Okay, we don't. Hit the Strix, which is still kind of nice. There's a Fate. We'll have to wait a turn. We'll probably like to just exile. We'll probably exile the agent. Yeah, we'll exile the agent. Strix can trade with that. We basically just have to fade them finding a counterspell. Chalice for 4, that's a thing. Or I guess red mana and twin. I don't think they play a lot of counter stuff. They had one card and they drew a second. Can they even get to 8 mana? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. If they have another soul land, they can go Chalice for 4. That'd be pretty brutal. Then we have 5, 9, 12. So not quite 15, but getting there. I just pass. Well, let's hope they can't enter this. Actually, let's play out a land just in case they have like Spellpierce Days. I really don't think they play that, but either of those cards, Spellpierce gets countered by Chalice anyway, so forget that. Just force or die, I think. They have force, they have it. If not, I think we win. No! Oh, hang on, why? I just paid 2, right? Oh, they're looting, never mind. Right, okay, trying to get their... Well, what? No, can't be forced because they have to bin 2 cards. They will only have 1. Yeah, alright. So we win game 1. That's pretty promising. So I guess we want what? What do we want? We want anything? We want... Is Cleat good here? Like, I mean, we already have answers for their Chalice. We don't have... Oh, if we had Needle, we'd bring that in, I think, to name, like, one of the creatures. They could be running, like, Planeswalkers. I don't think we really want anything here. I mean, maybe Carpet of Flowers, but I mean, they run a lot of non-island lands and the Soul lands, and the Carpet dies to Chalice, so... Do we really not board anything? Do we want Flusterstorm to fight something? Is there anything that's like really bad in our deck? I actually might just go with the 60, right? They don't use their graveyard, it seems like. We could actually we could board in Goyer Charm to answer their Blood Moon. Have like a 5th decay, kind of. In which case we might just want to cut what a Strix. They don't seem to be that much about the combat. Yeah, I think we try that. Okay, so let's see here. This is good. They mull to 6. Like, we are soft to a turn 1 Blood Moon here, like super soft, but they're mulling to 6. I like this hand a lot. I don't think you should be mulliganing. Like, when they don't keep 7, I feel a lot more comfortable. They keep 5, scry to the bottom. Let's hope they don't have turn 1 Blood Moon. They don't. Excellent. Right. So, because we drew the island, if they Chalice here, we don't brainstorm response because we want to fetch basic, I guess, forest here. Jace, Rin's Prodigy. Jace can be a prodigy, sure, it's fine. Well, I think what we do here is we Fate, the next turn we Agent, and the subsequent turn we Food Chain and go nuts with Griffins, if and when and all that, if we get that far, if they don't have Force. If they force this Fate, we still have a Griffin, so we're good. Guess I would ideally have liked to find a way, like somewhere to brainstorm during all this, but okay, so they're getting close to just twinning us here. So we have to respect that. Like, they can go end of turn, guy 1, guy 2, sorry, like Deceiver Exarch and then untap twin. So I think actually I'm going to brainstorm, look for Force or Decay. We find neither, and we don't have a way to shuffle in all of these lands. That is super annoying. Well, nothing to be done. I just hope they don't have it. They would have to have 3 cards in hand, be specific 3. I mean, they get to loot, but like they would need the red mana, they would need the twin, they would need the creature. Okay. They don't. And their Jace is far way off from flipping. I'm not sure about this Jace, if people actually just want him to not flip and be like Merfolk Looter. So Taiga means, I guess, they could have like Crozen Grip. The green splash could signify them having Crozen Grip. Pact of Negation, okay. Oh, big Chalice, I guess? Chalice for 3? Sure. So we could play out a Griffin here and just get the beats on. But I think I'd rather Shardless and hope to hit like a Decay, or alternatively like a Strix or something. Yeah, alright, Strix is okay. But we draw another land. That's so annoying. Alright. So I guess we just pass the turn. So let's just exile stuff. Well, food chain we can't use. It's okay. And we'll play out a Griffin. Just pass the turn. They'll loot at end of turn. I mean, all this looting is digging them closer to a win. Because eventually they will hit their combo. But I guess actually, hang on. No, they won't, because their creatures are 3 converted mana cost. So what are they actually up to with this? That's weird. Not sure what to really believe here. Meanwhile, they are taking damage from their tombs, and we're clocking them. I'm not hating this. So they drop to 6. I'm just trying to work out if there's a reason to commit another Griffin in case they're running some kind of board sweeper like Anger of the Gods or some weird stuff. Which again they can't cast because Chalice on 3. Like we have lethal on them here, unless they have like Bolt for one of our creatures, then we're set back another turn. But I think we commit another Griffin, that's okay. Just in case they have Bolt. I'm not sure they run Bolt in their Chalice deck, that would be kind of weird, but alright. What have you got for us? Ancient Tomb. Got anything? I'm not seeing what it's going to be. Kiki Chiki maybe? But even then, you need one of the 3 converted mana cost creatures. Well, anyways, hooray! 5-0. Haven't not done that for a long time. 5-0 with Food Chain. Great. Well, that was a lot of fun. Played against a diverse field. What did I face, right? Shardless, Lands, Miracles, Belcher, and Twin. So yeah, maybe like a couple of sketchy decks slash, well, play like games or matches. Like the round 1 against Shardless was a bit like their concession came rather abruptly and stuff like that. And Belcher is always a little bit of a coin toss, but 5-0 is 5-0. That's awesome. So thanks a lot for watching. I hope you enjoyed it, and feel free to leave comments. I'll be back with some more videos. Bye bye.